I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Riley Evans. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
It's slightly less a beautiful night where I am right now. It's a little rainy, but I'm doing just fine, sir. How are you?
I am excellent. It's a great pleasure to connect with you, as I said. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Manotick, which is a suburb of Ottawa. It's like probably 25 minutes to half an hour from the city center, and right now it is a little drizzly outside, but I will survive, seeing as I have a roof and walls.
Yeah. You know, I heard the song immediately when you said, I will survive. I will survive. Oh, that's great. Well, do tell us, Riley, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
So I guess you saw this when I updated on LinkedIn recently. I am a podcast producer. Earlier on this year, I started a company called Real Podcasting, where I connect with creators and businesses and help them set up a podcast in a way that allows them to skip the normal learning curve of getting into podcasting, where it's like, okay, how do we format a show? What equipment are we supposed to choose? How do we structure a show narrative? How do we get the show out to the world, doing post-production, things like that?
So tell us, how did you learn the skills that were necessary to do that now?
So I was incredibly self-taught. I've been in sort of like the audio-ish industry since 2013 when I was doing radio at Carleton University. I co-hosted a social justice themed radio show on CKCU. But about, I'd say like a year and a half, 2 years ago,
sounds like fun.
I sat down with one of my colleagues at the time, and we decided that we wanted to start a sports podcast. So I went through the whole process of researching things and we ended up starting to do that. But I just became obsessed with the podcasting medium and the audio industry in general. So after a while, I'd accumulated a vast amount of expertise that sort of outpaced the actual time that I'd spent doing podcasting, and decided that I wanted to help other people skip the learning curve that I had to go through.
Sounds great. Where's the best place for someone to connect with you to find out more about this service?
You can see me on my LinkedIn. It's just Riley Nicholas Evans. Or probably in terms of the service, the best thing to do would be going to realpodcasting.com, and there'll be tons of information there.
Now that you've been doing this where you're helping others, why will you continue to repeat this skill, Riley?
Partially because I love it. I love helping people tell stories and sort of connect with the message that they have inside themselves that they want to share with people, or help them build their brands or their businesses' brands on a professional level. Also because I get paid to do it now. So that is a very strong incentive to continue doing something.
Yeah, definitely. Getting paid is definitely an incentive. I love how you put that in there in the same exact tone as everything else.
I mean, you know what? I feel like even if you're getting paid to do something, if you're not enjoying it and you don't have a passion for it, you're eventually going to burn out on it. But I do not see myself burning out on podcasting or producing.
It works both ways, doesn't it? Like, even if you are passionate and you do not get paid for it, you're going to get burnout as well, right?
Absolutely, because you're sort of forcing your passion into your schedule around the things that you have to do to pay the bills, right? Yeah. So you end up between your job and your passion working like ridiculous hours, and at the end of the day, the lights have to stay on and food has to go onto the table. So you are sort of forced out of your passion at a certain point if you don't find a way to monetize it.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, do tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
When I said I was obsessive about sort of the podcasting and audio industry in general, something I've done consistently over the past 3 to 4 years is consume ridiculous amounts of YouTube content surrounding microphones and podcasting and production and all things associated with the industry. So I've, for the last 3 to 4 years, been doing that consistently. Probably, I would say I watch probably an hour's worth of YouTube content at least every day.
Have you begun to make your own content via YouTube just as yet?
I'm a stickler for quality control, and like I've done a little bit back when I was the editor-in-chief of the Ocho.ca, which was a sports website we were running here. We did a little bit of YouTube content, but me being the stickler for quality control that I am, I would only dive headfirst into it once I could afford to get the appropriate equipment. Right now, I don't have a camera that is to the specifications of what I would like.
Makes sense. All right. Yeah, that's cool. How does it make you feel doing what you're doing, my friend?
It's good. A lot of the content is just entertaining in its own right. And it always feels good to be putting time into working on your craft and constantly becoming better.
Suggest to someone who's listening why they should do the same. Like go research your stuff. Go look at some things. Sharpen your saw.
Absolutely. I think YouTube is obviously it's a source of entertainment for most people, but for people that are sort of into professional development, it's an endless resource of resources for professional development and personal development in the widest range of different fields that you could think of. There's always a YouTube tutorial on whatever it is that you're trying to learn how to do better.
Yeah. It's amazing, right? Like 10 years ago, nothing. You had to go dust off books or create a way to do it. Now, wow, you just type in the words and you get to see a real live video of it. It's really an amazing opportunity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it's one thing to learn about how to do something by reading about it, but to actually be able to see it done in front of you is tremendous, especially on my side of things for like post-production and audio editing. Being able to have somebody capture a screen and walk you through the process of something while they're doing it is endlessly helpful, because then you just repeat exactly what you saw on the screen and you get similar to the same results.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, amazing audience, again, we're live with Riley Evans. Riley Evans has created what is called real podcasting, right? Did I get that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Real podcasting. So you could definitely check that out. Riley, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Riley, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory is me bursting into tears when I was being dropped off to school for the first time around the age of 4. And it's funny, I don't know why that memory sticks out, because there's got to be at least a 4-year gap between that one and my next childhood memory. But
what is your next childhood memory?
And this one's really vague too. It's probably just me talking to my grandfather, who's since passed, while he was cleaning out the boat that we used to have at the cottage that him and my grandmother used to own.
That's intriguing. Well, how do you see these memories connecting to who you are today?
The first one specifically, I guess it's sort of like it's just a commonality of like who I am now versus who I was when I was 4. I've always been a very emotional person. So I think it manifests itself differently now than it did back then. When I was young, I used to cry a lot, all the time, just about pretty much anything. Now I'm more of a less of sensitive emotional person and more of a fiery emotional person. So, but that sort of easy access and being like full of emotion is a commonality between, intriguing. I guess, myself for my entire life.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yes, you can.
I love the idea of your approach to learning as it pertains to kindergarten, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which seems to be that type of learning where you are like this robotic, right? being in front of a teacher or behind a teacher.
While one could argue that the entirety of like everything from kindergarten to the end of high school is like
exactly
that. It's very rigid in terms of just being able to check off boxes required by a curriculum. Right?
Exactly. And to see that your next memory is where you are looking at the live back then YouTube video of your grandfather and the boat, right? And what he's doing there and the learning opportunity that is providing, and your approach to that, especially the fact that you remember it, is intriguing. That you're the guy now who is saying, I love to learn via YouTube videos. So that's what connects for me in that memory.
That is interesting.
If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I had to think about this one for a second, but it was definitely Holiday by Green Day. I don't know why.
Well, my friend, it's amazing how things connect. I mean, definitely going to school and not liking that mode of learning. I could see you celebrating in the holiday.
I did like school though. I always liked learning in any form or fashion, and like I was good at school, so I didn't bother in general. I was just more offering an objective critique of the school systems as they exist, not necessarily that I didn't like them. I was always good at checking boxes. So.
Understood. And the holidays, did you like that more, or did you like the school part more?
You know what? I am not a huge fan of time off. And I know there's going to be people listening to this that are, infuriated by me even saying that. But I've always been, and my mother says I take after her, I'm an industrious person. If I have more than 2 weeks off at any given time, I start getting stir crazy and I want to get back to things. I remember when I was in college, both years we had a month off for Christmas, and it drove me crazy. I couldn't handle it. I didn't know what to do with myself.
And I think that's so cool that you're being and representing who you are and your uniqueness. I love that. Yeah, not that you are the one that loves the holiday. You love to work, right? You love being industrious. So yeah, exactly. That's great. Love it. Yeah, keep expressing it. Don't stop. For some reason, believe in.
Hold on to that feeling.
There we go. Boom. Well, Riley, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. I'm wondering now. Yeah, I did ask you that question. Ooh, I got like a brain space there. Riley, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I feel like I do that every time I work with someone.
Are you married?
I am not.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
No, but I wish I did.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Whenever there is a sporting event on.
What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Usually more, because I work on a computer.
If you, Riley, had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Riley Evans, what would you say that is?
I am here to help people express the story or the message or the career on their heart.
Love it. In a real way, right? Real podcasting.
In the realest way via podcasting.
Love it. Riley, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Very simply, if you feel like you have a story or a passion on your heart, or if you have a career or a business that you want to take to the next level in its brand, don't wait. If you think that podcasting could be something that you would enjoy, or that professionally could take you to the next level, check out realpodcasting.com, get connected with me, and we will take you to that level.
Love it. Riley Evans, again, great pleasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
You know what, Angel, it was a great pleasure, and appreciated it.
I appreciated you as well. A pleasure I treasure.
You take care, sir.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.